Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader at thetechtrader.com. It's Thursday, the 25th of July. These are the charts of the day. Well, kind of had an interesting day today with a steady decline and a close not far from the lows, but they did bounce near the close. A lot of stocks we followed are moving and breaking out, and some making new multi-year highs, if not multi-week monthly highs. So look at Achillian Pharmaceuticals, which was a big favorite of ours back here in 2014 when it ran from 2.5 all the way up into the mid-teens. For now, though, they can see that this big downtrend took a few years to develop, spiking and crushing at the December low like many biotechs did. This got down to $1.29, and within 3 months was trading at more than double, almost triple, at $3.48. After that, it pulled back down, kind of did a Fibonacci retracement. But look at the action in the last 4 sessions, exploding from 238 to 4 nearly, and about a 70%, 60% pop. Now there is resistance here through this zone, but there's a declining top line going way back that, if I draw it correctly, comes in right about where we are. This is a key area. Should we pull back and consolidate, I'd look for a setup for a move into the 5.5 area and then 7. Either way, though, those are your targets, and then the long-term targets, 9, 9.25. Anika Therapeutics with a major pop today on news. It exploded from 1178 at 28.9%. Volume was the biggest in more than a year. Or about a year, and you can see that this breakaway gap with that run up and a strong close tells me, and although there's resistance there, the next targets have to be 61, and then we're looking at mid to high 60s. AUDC continues to push, and you can see after breaking out of the coiling pattern and off of the bottom of the trend line and moving average, the 50, there's a breakout, there's an inside day in there. Today it popped another 69 cents or almost 4%. I think the stock has got designs on 21 and then mid-20s after that. Just have to gauge it as it comes. Here's a $25.5, $26 target. Beyond meat, what a move. This weekend I showed you this coil that was developing, and I said if it pops, it may run to retest the high and take it out. That high was 202-ish. Today it ran up to 222, and after hours, believe it or not, I think 231 was the high. Let's take a look. 232. No, actually not true. It was the high as 234.41 earlier this evening. So this is a stock that could gap and run tomorrow. The angle that I've drawn in shows that this might be a quick move into that 250 range, which is my near-term target. Castilium, aluminum stock with a nice pattern. Excuse me, the lateral price resistance of the last couple of years is being tested. The stock, after a V-bottom platform of being tested once, twice, 3 times, ran up to resistance, consolidated for a month, exploded on big volume the last 2 sessions. Today up another 73 cents or 6%. There is resistance here. I'd defer back to this low in here that could be your next target range, comes in around 16. DBD, well, Diebold, after a tragic decline, which killed it from the 30s into the $2-3 range, exploded January, February, March, took it from about 230 all the way to 13. And the pullback form that you could see a coil, but once, twice, 3 times it held support about 8.25, 8.5. Today, a breakaway gap and a run up to resistance. Should it get through here, and this is a strong resistance level, this might very well get to the next level, which comes in my mind, around 16.5, 3/4. So that's your next target for DBD. DMRC with a big pop and its breakout of a falling wedge. This is a powerful looking pattern that went from 14 to 68, backed off from the channel, and now it's breaking back out, I think. Minor target's 55, and the important target would be about 64, 66. FSLY new issue, Fastly, software stock that had a 3-wave, pretty rapid decline after the post pop. 25.5 down to 16.75, a V bottom, and then a platform with an inverse head and shoulder type pattern. Here's your neckline, shoulder line, excuse me, left shoulder and right shoulder, and there's your neckline. So if we can get up through here, we probably will test the high and retest the 25.5 area. That's my short-term target. We get through that, it could be 27.8. KN, null, breaking out of a large basing type pattern, or it could be the double top from 2016-17. It came in around 19.5, with today's high at 20. That's the highest level achieved since back in 2015. I'm looking for a challenge of that 22.5 range, and then upwards of 25. KTOS has been ramping ever since his inverse head and shoulder broke out there and pulled back. You can see the longer term channel shows a distinct parallel channel that has more to go, in my opinion. After the pop here and the run up, this is now in a rising flag or channel. based on the angle of ascent, 28 and 33 are your targets. Nokia had a big day today on strong earnings report. Huge volume. We're trading 94.6 million shares today. Big volume. Now, resistance and scalp target is 6, but I'm looking for more like 660. And then we get to that level where there's a double triple top, 780 to 8.5 could be had. Netgear snapped back hard, the breakaway gap up to resistance. Let's see if this can continue. If it can, 37, 30, and 40 are your near-term targets, and the intermediate targets, high 40s. NVCR, what a long-term chart that is. Take a look at this pattern. Beautiful. Breakaway gap, if you remember, we put a swing on it back in 2017, 2 years ago, when it was trading about 10. Ultimately, it's made it up to 77. That was today, 78 actually. And you can see the rising channel in the last 3 months is very powerful. Now I think it's got a date with the rising channel, the major rising channel, that tells me we're looking at mid-90s. OC with a beautiful pattern. I love this declining channel, breakout, pullback, a base forms, a breakout, and a three-wave corrective falling wedge, and then the pop out. We're going to follow through today. I put a swing on it yesterday. I'm looking for this to make a quick test of the gap there at about 64. And then high 60s, that's a big one. But the gap, and that's a huge one, is at 70. So looking at 63, 68, 70, 71 range going forward. I think we'll get a follow through. Now, Overstock tried to break out and actually did nominally, but backed off. It is up a little bit. It was only up a fraction, 10 cents. Mine picked up though. This may, if it consolidates or chews out the resistance here, is going to test 23 and 26.5. Raytheon, well, it's really looking good. This V bottom with the platform in the last 6 months today spiked up. They had a good report, but more importantly, they just acquired United Technologies, and I think that's going to ramp this stock into the 210-12 range. And lastly is Sigma, which after a beautiful base and a long downtrend, 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe a fifth wave truncated, or at least a base pattern, exploded yesterday, followed through today. I'm looking for a quick move to about 5.25, where some resistance lies, and then maybe we can get it up to 6.5 and 8. So 5.25, 6.5, 8 on SGMA. And folks, that's it for this evening. Have a good one. Good night.